Hi guys, I haven't tested this, so I don't have a clue how it goes. I hope the sound is getting good, everything good, because I haven't tested this. Nice to see you as well, Bird. New level auto, how you doing? Solid, I haven't seen it for ages. Oh, good. Great stuff. Very good. Right, unfortunately I couldn't come any earlier for some family reasons, but I'm here now. Hope it's not too late. Hi Hassan, how you doing? Wow, the laptop is really far. Hi Chris, how you doing? Nice to see you, Sadiq. I think the light is a little bit too low here. I don't know how the picture is. I hope it's good. Hi, Bird. Have you not read the title? I'm gonna give this away to one of you back here. Yes, there is. So basically, guys, behind me is every single Patreon, uh, and these six here in the middle is the ones that decide that they don't want to be part of this draw. But yeah, everybody else, there's 40, 44. So one of them is gonna get this tool today. Well, I promised I would be doing this tonight, so I couldn't let my patrons down today. And to be fair, oh, thank you. Hi, Leon. Here we go, Leon. New level auto. You could have told me that before, so I could organize things. But that's fine. I'll keep that in mind. All right, Solid. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support, man. I'm gonna have to take notes of this because otherwise I'll forget. Just hold a second. Okay. Oh, no problem, no problem. Thank you for your support, man. Really appreciate it. Um, if you follow me, this is for Solid Diagnostics. If you follow me from before February this year, before I've changed the YouTube channel name, uh, that's my username on TK, LMSVVAVR. That used to be my old YouTube channel name. That's still my username in there. Good evening, Russ. No worries, man. Your presence here is more than enough. Yeah, thank you, Leon. Yeah, nearly 10K. That's going to be an achievement as well. Yes, Chris, I'm based in the UK. Yeah, I like to work on Rhinos, although they are not built, how to put it across, they are not very robust, but they are easy to work on my opinion. Not every Pedro is easy. No, is not. No, is not. I'm from Portugal, New Level Auto. That's where I'm came from. Actually, some of you have seen on my laptops. Some of them they are actually in Portuguese. Sometimes it's whichever CD comes up first is the one I install, and no worries. Haha, Spanish. We are neighbors. Sorry, guys. I need to look at the phone. The laptop is a little bit too far to read. Welsh. I've never been there. Well, I'm sorry, but I hope you lose. No worries, Liam. Um, where did I learn this trade? Uh, Without making the story too long, guys, I'm pretty much self-taught. I've never worked on cars. I've always worked on my own cars since I got my first car at 18. Uh, oh, thank you, Sadiq. But I never really worked on cars until about 7 years ago, maybe. Um, I used to do laptop repairs. People start to buy new rather than repair. Um, Luckily, they don't do that with cars yet. But yeah, so about 7 years ago, I started sold some of the tools I used to have to repair laptops, from reflow machines and stuff like that. I've sold everything, and I've started to invest my time into this, and that's pretty much it. I've 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 started from scratch. Don't take me wrong, I've always been quite good on like electronics and stuff like that. A lot of it is a little bit of common sense as well. So, but yeah, that's the short story of the thing. Yes, I used to. Radu is asking if I make BGA reballing. Yes, I used to. I used to have a proper reflow machine. Actually, if you guys follow my videos, you have seen two laptops I have, two TX HP TX 1000. Those two laptops, I bought both of them without video because of the GPU, and both of them they've been reballed. So I removed both GPUs, reballed, and put everything back on, and I have them pretty much for like 7 years since I've started on this, and they've been running fine. So yeah, I used to do all that. Yeah, I still have the stencils and stuff that I never sold, but yeah, thank you, Solid. I do my best. Yeah, laptops was I used to like to do laptops, special like we were just talking like reballing and stuff like that. Used to be quite interesting. But like I said, people start to buy new rather than repair because you'd bring a laptop to do a reballing, and is a lot of time consuming on that, isn't it? So by the time you say you quote how much you'd charge for that, people would say, "Oh no, for another £100, I'll buy another one," and people just start to buy new. So the amount of work on that starts to really decrease quite a lot. And because I never advertised, I used to do it just like I do cars. Is the friend of a friend of a friend, and is how I used to do it. And obviously, I just decide I need to keep something else to keep me busy. Yes, they do. This is Radu. Yes, some CPUs they do have BGA chips. Well, too late now because the reballing machine is gone, and I don't think I'm gonna invest on another one, just for the sake of the odd ECU that am I gonna need a reballing. I don't think I'm gonna, because it's quite expensive those machines. Are you talking about the audio system, Sadiq? If it's that, yes. Yes, I used. No. Did I still have it at that time? Maybe. Yes, yes, solid. The lacquer is on laptops. You don't have that problem, but some modules, yes, they cover them up with that. That is quite difficult to remove. Sadik, yes, I can't remember if I was still have that reflow machine at that time. Maybe, probably I did still have it. Um, Chris, I don't know who's going to be watching this live, so I don't want to say too much, but there is something in the pipeline. The most difficult job I ever had. The most difficult job I ever had. Time consuming. Uh, probably. Time consuming, probably. Right. There's two ways to put it across. One thing is the time that takes to repair the problem. Another thing is the time that takes to find the problem. To repair the problem, probably is the one that is not live yet. He's going to be live on Patreon very, very shortly. On YouTube, it's going to take a few months, but is one on a Reno, a Scenic, that the multi plug under the passenger seat, driver seat, depends where you are. Just got moisture and gets, excuse me, all corroded. That took a couple of hours to repair, wire by wire. It was not easy, and I've done it twice already. I just had one last week. The one that took long to find the problem. The one I've done for the Mercedes the other day. That one is live already. For the ECU, to repair the ECU, that took quite a long time. And from the top of my head, I can't really remember now if I had anything much worse than that. Yeah, that plug is terrible. It's terrible. This one, the last one I had last week, which I recorded, was not too bad. Was well, it was bad, but was not too bad. But the one I had a few years ago, that was well before the YouTube. Um, as soon as I took the carpets off and I grabbed the plug, all the wires they from the plug goes like that, isn't it? It goes the wires under on the chassis, and then the one as soon as I pull it up, all the wires pretty much just disintegrated. And Reno, just to make it a little bit more easier, they decide that the color wire before and after the plug are different. So it was not easy. At that time, that was years ago. I didn't have diagrams, and it was not easy. But I managed to get it done. I thought about it. I thought about it, Sadiq. Live stream repairs, but at the moment I can't do it because of the way I do work on my drive. Uh, I'm constantly being interrupted. Believe me or not. You might realize from some of my videos, I have two little girls, and I get interrupted constantly, and it's just not feasible really at the moment. But who knows in the future? I might do live stream repairs. Oh, Leon, Leon. Yeah, it's at the moment it's not feasible, guys. Working on a driveway, making live streams would be a big challenge. Believe me, it just doesn't make sense. Just it's not feasible. Yes, I've seen your text. I've seen your text. What kind of repairs you refuse or do not accept? Anything that involves major mechanical engine gearbox. I've just done the. I've just done my. The Renault motors. You might have seen some of the videos. I've just done the clutch on that. The I have the car for sale now, but the clutch was biting too high, so I didn't want to sell the car like that. So I've done the clutch, but I've done it because it was for me. Otherwise, I won't do it. You guys, working like you've seen already, is not impossible to do jobs like that. So anything that involves major, uh, anything that would really require a lift, I don't take. Anything else for me is a challenge. I will take anything. I will take anything. And you've seen, I keep mentioning on my videos, I keep taking jobs that they come from elsewhere. I just take them. For me, anything is a challenge. I love challenge, especially when they come from a few places they couldn't figure it out and they end up here. I love those. I really love those. Yeah, solid. I think if I had other conditions, probably I would take a little bit other type of jobs. But like this, I can't. Probably not, Chris. Yeah, I think you can't refuse jobs at the dealer, can you? Solid. Oldest car repaired. Probably you're gonna, well, if you are on Patreon, you can see those two videos I've done on a Toyota Yaris. A few years back, I've done, actually I mentioned that on that video, I've done a Toyota Corolla 90 1996, I think. But to be fair with you, a couple of years ago, I went on holidays to Portugal, and my dad has been with this Mercedes 1994, if I'm not mistaken, with an airbag with an ABS problem, and I got it repaired in there while I was on holiday. So probably that one was the oldest one I've done. What I think about cheaper copy scanners, most of them they do the job. Depends depends on the environment. Depends on what you need to do with them, and how much you need to rely on them. Um, that's the main reason why I have one scanner, a multi scanner that I spend a good amount of money on it, which is my Maxis, because I need to rely on a multi-maker scanner. I couldn't have a copy or something like that that would fail or wouldn't do this or wouldn't do that. Don't take me wrong, the Maxis doesn't do everything and it fails a lot of times on certain things, but at least it's reliable every time I plug it in, I know it's going to work. About clip, Opcom. Clip, my clip, I think is the third clip I have. I think the first time I dropped it and I never managed to get it to work. But anyway, but this clip now I have it for about 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, and it's been spot on every time, every single time. Opcom is a good tool. Is a very good tool. Uh, even being a even being a clone, it does pretty much the same. And all the other ones really, most of them they do a good job. But it's like everything. There is good and bad clones. Sometimes you need to know where to search, where to buy them. But yeah, it's always a gamble. It's always a gamble, I think. Hi, Howard, Automotive. How you doing? Um, Thank you, Radu, for your advice. I think for a multi-maker, I'm going to stick with a Maxi for now. I don't really need too many tools as a multi-maker. I prefer to invest. I prefer to have a tool like the Maxis for everything, for the entire market. And then when I spend money on specific tools for specific jobs. For a lunch. Uh, uh, I don't know. The lunch never really. I never tried it. Don't take me wrong. It might be a good tool. I, I don't know. I never been inclined for that. Even when I bought the DS708 that you have seen on some of my old videos. Um, at the time, the launch was one of the tools on the table, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm really happy with the Maxi Cs. I'm actually planning to the Maxi Cs. Coincidence or not, it just ran out today or yesterday. The yearly subscription, so I need to update soon. But I'm planning to make a video of kind of a review video of 1 year of usage of the Maxi. But I can tell you now here, I'm really happy with it. It let me down a couple times on this or that, but overall, I'm really happy with the tool. Uh, New level auto. I never had that issue. Um, I never had that issue. Even with the DS708, I do understand probably if you have more workload, you go through much more different jobs and different situations that I don't. I never had an issue either with the DS708 or with the Maxi Cs. I've done some programming already with the Maxi Cs. There's some videos coming up for that. I've done some flashing with it, and it's been spot on, working absolutely perfect. That's a go kart. Yeah. I'm gonna have to do something here that I have completely forgot. I can't believe. Sorry about that, guys. I really forgot this. I'm so sorry, guys. I just got distracted and I completely forgot to link these into Patreon. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Irons. Thank you for watching my videos. Um, uh, I don't know. I don't think it does. I'm sorry. I explained that on the video. The budget was not that big. The plans, though, for the 100 patrons are slightly different, but I'm not going to disclosure nothing yet. I don't think it does. I think it does steering angle adjustments. It does airbags, ABS. Is mainly those three modules, if I'm not, and engines, I think. The video for the Smart 42 with a faulty CAN line inside the ECU. Yeah, that was an interesting one. I thought Leon gives the Foxwells away. The best source of wiring diagrams. Um, yes, you have Autodata. Obviously, is probably is a quite good one. Um, you have all data as well. But to be fair with you, most of my if you've seen my videos, if you've seen the videos for the wire diagrams I made, since then I have more, but I tend to try to go OEM. So like said for excuse me, like said for Peugeot and Citroën, Elsa for Volkswagen, and so forth. Um, you get everything in there. Auto data sometimes is that one car that you really need the diagrams, and you're gonna go for it, and it's not there. And sometimes, and to be fair, auto data always seems to focus on the engine wiring diagrams. Most of the cars, there is other cars with other systems, but most of them is the engine, and sometimes you need more than the engine. Depends what you are working on. Yeah, you guys inside the business knows much more than than me on that. I was not aware of that. To be fair with you guys, when I don't have diagrams, I just go old school, just follow the wire, see where it goes. I know it's not always possible to do that, but yeah, I know the Pico. I've been looking at those, uh, but they are quite expensive for the for the amount of work I do at the moment. They are quite expensive, as you all know. The Pico is not cheap. Um, my my scope at the moment has been. I use it quite often. Not always. I put it on video, but I use it quite often. As I said in the past, and I don't record every single repair because you guys, if you do this, a repair takes two, three, four times more when you try to record and make sense of the video. So I can't record everything. So, but I use my Unity quite often. I'm quite happy with it. It's true that the Pico helps you to set up the scope and all that stuff. I've been looking through what it does, but at the moment, I'm happy with the Unity. Who knows in the future, maybe a Pico, yeah, but they are quite expensive for my research. So, and we have someone from Brazil here. Boa noite. He's also making a video on it. Obrigado. Thank you. I was expecting to see more patrons around here, unless you are guys here, these guys with another name. I know it's my fault. I didn't put it from the beginning. That was my fault. Well, I think we're gonna do this draw. I think I'm gonna leave the video uh, after that anyway. So anyone that can't watch it now will be able to watch it later. So we're gonna do this old fashioned. All I'm gonna do is pick up these papers, these post-its from behind me. If you guys remember the logo from my old, from the YouTube, the old logo. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all the post-its in here. I'm gonna shuffle them and just pick up one, and that's it. That's all is gonna happen. Obviously, I'm not gonna pick up this 6 here. For you guys, I have all your addresses apart from Bart, unless he already sent it. I haven't seen it yet. Send me your address, and I'm going to give you the choice. I will send you a text anyway. I will message you anyway, but I'm going to give you the choice between one of these T-shirts, okay? But for you guys on Patreon that pledges the $5, you already got one, or you can have one of this. So you're gonna be able to let me know, and yeah, that's what these 6 up here are gonna get. Yeah, just a small thanks. After all, being out of the draw, they are just increasing the odds of everybody else. So go, Keith. Go. Okay, I'm gonna start to pick them up. I'm gonna fold them. So I don't know. Shall I show the names? I don't want nobody to come back and say, "How do I know my name was there?" Shall I? I don't know if you can read the names on the wall. Actually, can you read the names? Let me see how it comes up on the phone. No, you can't read the names. The quality is not that good. Um, I think I'm going to show the names, guys. There's nothing I think won't be a problem. Okay, there's some people saying not to show the names. Well, you can count the post-its, and you're going to see that you have 44 here and 6 here, making the 50. Okay, I'm not going to show the names. I'm just going to show, obviously, the name of the winner. Otherwise, I'm fine either way. Okay, who are the 6 out? Well, I need to show the names for that. I'm not sure if I should or not. I should have think about this before and could have messaged them, but oh, damn it. I don't know what to do now. Shall I show the names so you guys see your name and you know you are in here? Or shall I just yes, they opt out. Obviously, they just thought this tool will be no good for them. and they decide to give the opportunity to someone else, which is really humble. And yeah, so okay, show them. Okay, I will show them. I don't think it will be a problem. Uh, I don't think it will be a problem. Okay, so Adrian S. I'm going to fold them like that and put them in there. We have Christopher. We have Ian. We have Pete. Crank. Colin. Colin, I haven't seen you for ages. Where are you? Jake, a really nice bloke. I met this guy in person. Jim Wright. Antonio Ormigo. Marcus Ains. Munir. Munir, where are you? You sleeping? So, what's the time in America now? It's too early. Okay, John Lloyd. Patar. Raymond. Let me see if I get this right. Carides. Car Club Auto. Ole Ingvar. Same Sam. James Anthony. Peter. Peter, was a pleasure to help you. João Morgado. That's like that. Steve. Ivan. Mindaugas. Test Light Diagnostics. Mário Rui Santos. That's you, Mário. Nelson Santos. He's not your brother, isn't he? Andrej. Paul Lane. Fatke Daniel. Jeffrey. Christian. Are you still here? Everybody just went quiet. Kulvinder. Majid. And that's you. New level auto. Mario Pereira. Let me see if I pronounce this right. Hikam. No Majid. No, Matej Orovat. Another Christian. Hi, Diagoto. How you doing? Ricardo Ferreira. Emmanuel. Wilford Budna. Rob Thomas. And last one, Zion Buchanes. That's it. Yeah, yeah. Okay. They're all here. The 6 people that decide not to make part of the draw, guys, is a big applause for Igor Sobreira. He does also have a channel called Cars Exposed. Go and have a look. I'm surprised he's not around here today. We have Brian. We have Jangir Akbar. We have Robert Schroek. I hope I said it right. We have Bart. And we have, sorry Len, I left you for last, Budget and Legged Garage. Okay. These are the 6 people that decided not to be part of this draw. It's gonna shuffle this properly. A big thanks to all that opted out. Yeah, big thank you. Thanks for all the 6 behind me. Okay, I think it's enough. I'm just gonna put my hand in there and I'm gonna pick up one person. Okay, I have one. A big thanks to everybody else that has been supporting me in Patreon. It's been a really fantastic journey. I was not expecting to get to 50 that quick. I'm not gonna lie, but you're fun from Tunisia. But yeah, it's been really nice. It's been a really nice experience, and a big thank you to all of you. If I could, I would give one to every single one of you, but I can't. So, guys, the lucky winner is this one. Okay, there we go. The lucky winner is Munir GCP. Okay, I don't know if he's here. Don't know if he's here. Is Munir here? I don't think so. Yeah, that's the winner. I just need now. Guys, there is 100 Patreon. Actually, I've been thinking to do a halfway through. I'm already revealing, and I was not supposed to. No, I'm planning to do a 75 patrons and then the 100. The 75 is going to be something similar to this, perhaps a different tool, but something similar. And then the 100, I have a few ideas, but I don't want to say nothing yet. So yeah, I think that's it. Congratulations, Munir. You're gonna get it through the mail as soon as I have all the details. And for you 6 here, guys, please let me know if you do prefer another T-shirt. For you guys that are only $5, or if you prefer one of this, and that will be on the way next week. I swear I knew it. Guys, I couldn't make it more clear, I think. Oh, thank you. Len, you've been very quiet. I thought you'd be. I was scared of you. So I chose the right time then, yeah? No worries, Mario. Thank you for coming. So I think that's it, really, guys. Unless you guys have any questions that you want to put across, whatever, I have all night, really. New level auto, where have you been? Fixing us up. What's the timing there then? It's 5 hours back, isn't it? Well, depends on the states, isn't it? I'm not planning to stop making videos, guys. Doesn't matter what. I'm not planning to stop. Um, I can't let so many people down now. I feel like I have a responsibility now towards all of you. So I'm not planning to stop. 6:49. All right. That was the person. New level auto. Motorcycles. Mario Resents. I've done. I've done a couple. I've done a couple, but the ones I've done was simple things. Really, was just for friends. I've done a few. You need some specific, different type of diagnostics, as far as I'm aware. I'm not too much into bikes, to be fair with you. I've only helped, like I said, a couple of friends. Simple things. It's an engine, basically. It's the same principle. So it's quite similar, really. Right, guys. I really don't know what else to say. Was really nice. I really enjoyed to do this. FVDIs. I tell you what. I've considered in the past to buy them, but then it's going to be a little bit with everything. When you start to read about them and you start to hear these scary stories about what they do to cars, and obviously if you go genuine, maybe you don't have those issues. But I don't know. I'm not very. I'm not fan of like FVDI and tools like that. I never tried them, to be fair with you, but it's not something that I'm looking forward to get, to be honest. For EPROMs, guys, you've seen what I use. I'm still planning to buy shorts. that's on my list. That one I want it. Definitely I want it. But yeah. If I can make a video talking about what makes you start, and I tell you what I'll do. Yeah, I'll do one. Why not? Uh, it's not going to be that soon because there's a few things coming on the way now. But who knows? I might do a live stream like this, and we can talk about it, and I can tell you why and how I started on cars. I can explain at the beginning of the video. There's not much more to it. Maybe a little bit more details, but it's pretty much how we started. DIY reading. Thank you for being here with us, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I don't have any of those tool guys. FVDI, VVDI. I don't have any of those. Um, yeah, I have now Reno Link. Um, so I have that set up now to do all that. Yeah, the time was the first time I had that problem. Really, I never had it before. Uh, so I now have the tools to do it myself as well. This is in answer to Maher Drad about the Reno Motors steering. Hi Tahir, yes I did, man. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. The biggest damage loss while repairing a car. What did you broke by mistake? The biggest loss, the biggest loss was actually not just for the car, for me as well. Uh, the biggest loss was probably, let me think. The biggest loss. The biggest loss was you guys have seen some videos that I've done for a Vauxhall ECU, MJD ECU from 1.3, which I've done two videos for it. I've done a video on how to read and write the ECU on a bench. The original ECU from that car, I've tried to read it through OBD. And it read okay. And after reading, he asked me to cycle the ignition, and the car never started. But long story short, was all the problems with the car that I was not aware of. And basically, I had to buy another ECU, which is the ECU you see on the video. And but the on the original ECU, when I first got the ECU, the car here was asking. It was timed for the login, and you know you can time up to 24 hours on Vauxhalls, and it was timed up to 24 hours, and you need to leave the ignition on. And I left my battery charger outside under the bonnet for 24 hours. This was during the winter. The next day, when I got home after a night shift, the battery charger was gone. The car, the ignition has never been on for the entire night. It was a big loss. I lost my battery charger. I've lost the ECU. It was a big of a mess. But yeah, in the end, I got it done, as you've seen on the video. But yeah, it was basically the car had a problem somewhere, and I was so tired of that car. I decided just to take the immobilizer out, and but then I came across the problem I explained on the video. Yeah, it was an interesting one. That car has been here for quite a long time, until I got rid of it. Kes, I have key tag, which is the one I have key tag, which I use quite often. Kes, I do and I don't. Okay, I do have one that I bought not long ago, but has been locked because it was connected to the internet. I didn't have time really to go around it to repair it. But yeah, I do. But I never used it obviously because it's broken. But I have key tag though. MPPS, yes, yes, that was the one. Right, Mario Rui Santos. Probably, probably. To be fair with you, the tool itself is not that expensive, Mario. You can get the Maxi Cs, the J 2534, and the tablet um, now for less than 2 grand. The problem, the tablet, to be fair with you, is quite good. It gives you the freedom to walk around. Um the battery life on that is really good, and I mean really good. Um, but yeah, I guess they could sell only the software. I don't know. That would be an option. Why not? If I do this for living, no Diag Auto. No, I don't. I do this as a part time at the moment. Oh yeah, the radio with the security code. You have those blanks sometimes. There's more videos coming with that sort of things. Actually, I've just been working today on a car that was an interesting one. Uh, that was an interesting one. I was nearly not to record it, but I thought, why not? Oh dear, I could after the repair, I couldn't start the car because of something that I forgot to connect. Believe me or not. But yeah, we all do those silly things sometimes. Happens, isn't it? Yeah, locking ECUs is never good. Uh, I always feel that little nervous when I've mapped, I've read and write the ECU on my 7 Series. If you guys watch my videos, you've seen that car in the background many times. I've just got it remapped the other day, and yes, I was nervous while I was doing it. I don't know. It's always that thing. You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, no problem. I will. I don't mind to show the repairs. No problem at all. Yeah, communication error. Yeah. To be fair, on that Vauxhall was no errors whatsoever. With that tool, the tool I was using, I've read many issues in the past with it through OBD. Obviously, never had an issue. It was the first time, but the reading process was absolutely perfect. Select the car, select this hue, press read. It went all the way, no nothing, no pauses, no nothing. At the end, asked me to cycle the ignition. I turned the ignition off, turn it back on, tried to start the engine. That was it. I never managed. But the funny thing is, Then obviously I then tried to read the ECU on a bench with key tag. Even key tag can't connect to the ECU now. That's it. The ECU is dead. I can read the EEPROM, but the flash is gone. It's completely gone. I can't access the MCU whatsoever, even on the bench. So I don't know what the other tool did to it, but it completely damaged the ECU. About chip tuning, guys, I don't have much experience about read and write ECUs and all that stuff. There is more coming. Definitely there is. I have one that well, depends on weather, depends on a lot of other factors, but I should have one coming soon to do. Um, Not ship tuning, but it's gonna involve read and write the ECU, and I'm planning to record it. Ship tuning. I'm not very. I've never really done it too much. I never really, how to put it across, I never really advertised too much that I can read and write ECUs, because something can go wrong, and I never really invested on too many tools to read ECUs. I'm investing a little bit more now. Things are changing, guys. Keep tuned to the channel, and you'll see what's coming. You'll see what's coming. No worry, Diago. It's a pleasure to help, man. You always need to check the basics first. That's what I keep saying. In that case, it was not the basics really; it was the broken wire. But thank you, my hair. Thank you, my hair. No problem, man. I don't go. I don't go too often now to DK. I go every now and then, but I haven't been there for quite a long time. To be fair with you, I think. But thank you for your offer. Thank you for your help. To Robson, Brazil. I don't have a clue. Sorry. Maybe someone else can help you with that one. With locksmith, I believe you mean programming keys and stuff. Uh, yeah, I've done I've done a fair bit of programming keys. Unfortunately, I can't do everything because you need. I don't have those specific tools to program keys. There's something that I wanna get one, but I don't have one. So the keys I do, the keys I can program is pretty much Reno, Peugeot, and Vauxhalls. With the Maxi Cs now, I can do a little bit more on other brands. But yeah, it's I've done a fair bit, especially on French cars, definitely. Audi and Volkswagen and stuff nowadays, they don't give you the pin codes anymore, if they ever did, but you can't get pin codes for those. So you need tools to get through the security and stuff like that. It involves get a lot of tools, and like I keep saying, guys, I do this as a part time at the moment. Is big investments. It's big investments, and I would need to have the time as well to make the money back, isn't it? If you invest in tools, you then need to obviously work to get the money back. But I still have my job. I can't just. Is a catch 22. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of. But yeah, I've done a fair bit of programming keys already. Special Windows, like I said, special French cars. Well, I think it's midnight now, guys, here in the UK. Launch X431. Yeah, I said earlier even on this video that tool was on the table when I bought my hotel. Rui Santos about charging BMW key fobs. There is different hacks that they reckon it works, but the truth is, if your battery, like any battery, it just goes through a certain amount of cycles and it will stop charging. It doesn't matter what you're going to do. You always gonna. It doesn't matter how you're going to charge it. It's a rechargeable battery, which sooner or later will die. The best option really is open the fob and put a new rechargeable battery, and you are good to go. I've done a video on my 7 Series doing that on one of the keys. That the battery went flat completely, and that's is the best option is really that. And I've done other keys in the past, the whole diamond shape key. I've done those in the past, and it's the best way. New battery in, and you'll be good for a few years. Really, is the best option really. Hello, Global Car Parts. You come late, man. What have you been? I do my best to give as much info as I can. All right, guys. I think it's time to 1 hour and 25 minutes nearly. I think it's time to call it to an end. Oh, sorry about that, man. I didn't knew that. Well, if you put in the washing machine, what did you expect? Yeah, the play button. That's quite far away still. As for under V8, thank you for joining us anyway. Thank you. Yeah, it's 1 hour in front, isn't it? In France. I was open to do this anytime. That was, but on Patreon, guys, that was I put a pool in there, and the time chosen by the patrons it was between 8 and midnight. So that's the time. That's when I've done it. Otherwise, I was happy to do this in the morning, throughout the night. Anytime would be okay for me. Thank you, Diagoto. I really appreciate. If I work with other local garages, yes, I do. Um, I do jobs for them. I mentioned on some of my videos cars that come from other garages and stuff like that. Um, I don't really usually go around to there to do the jobs, although I've been doing a few to this place around just near me. I've been there twice to start two vans, but I don't usually do that. Usually they bring it to me. Yeah, but I do not too many, but for a couple, maybe more than a couple, but yeah, for a few, yeah, I do. I'm the DJ tonight. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It's not I'm that interesting, but thank you. Um, Pillman, yes, I have. There's some videos coming soon for that with the hotel programming, flashing, if you want to call it. Yes, I have. Those videos, well, at least one, is going to be on Patreon very, very shortly. Obviously, you'll be on YouTube later on, and I'm planning to do some more. I've done my BMW, but I never recorded it as well. And you worked faultless, really, no problems at all. Absolutely spot on. Um, it's very the menus and as you go through the programming is actually very similar, very identical to Ista P. I do have Ista P as well, but yeah, it's very identical. So yeah, a good thing as well. I'm not sure if Ista P does allows you to, but I think it does. Maxi says you can reflash the same software on the same ECU, which even some original tools like Clip, for example, if you try to reflash the same software, it doesn't allow you to. It tells you the software is up to date and it doesn't allow you. With the hotel, you can actually reflash the same software on top of the same. Well, just to reflash the same software. I've done down my Beamer to sort the problem the other day, and yes, I've done some. It's gonna be more videos coming, but yes, I have some videos on there ready. Just stay tuned; they will be live at some point. On Mercedes, I was talking about BMWs. On Mercedes, have I done it already? Yes, I did have, but I did not record those. I've done on E-Class 2010 E-Class, I think it was. Yes, I've done a complete flash of the car. I reprogrammed the entire car, every single ECU. And that was not long ago, actually. It was a couple of months ago, maybe. How long I'm doing this job on cars, on electronics. I've answered that back on a video, global car parts. About 7 years, pretty much, when I started. Um, yeah, about around 7 years. Maybe a little bit less, actually. Six. It's probably 7 years around now. maybe. Where I get pinouts for ECUs. Uh, right. If I don't have the diagrams is it will tell you the pinouts. Yeah. If you have the diagram for the engine ECU, you have the pinouts. Simply as that. Otherwise, guys, Google. I use Google quite a lot. Especially when sometimes it's like if I need to do something really quick, rather than go and turn on the laptop and then load the software, sometimes you just Google and it comes up straight away. So, but yeah, depends what you're doing. The Ag Auto, no, I never had that problem. I never used, well, I think I have used actually. NCS Expert. No, sorry. You are talking, it's a programmer. Oh, you mean coding then? You are not talking about programming. People sometimes confuse things. Coding and programming are different things. NCS Expert is for coding. Uh, yeah, NCS Expert is for coding. Yeah, it's not programming. Programming on the BMW tools package is what's it called? Win KFP or KPF, something like that. I never used. I think I used that one or twice, but it's I don't know. It's one of those tools that I know they don't inspire confidence to me. NCS Expert for coding, I have no problems using it. I use it many times, quite easy. But I never had that problem. Never had that problem. Couldn't stand my NCS Expert is quite easy to use, in my opinion. Once you get around how it works and how BMW actually works, it's quite easy to use. Once you get around it, you can just go through the TRC file. You can find options in there quite quick without even searching too much. It's quite easy to use, in my opinion. Once you get your head around it. And I think as well as you start to get other tools capable of doing the job, like if I need to code something that I know the Maxis is capable of, I'm not going to use NCS Expert because I know the Maxis will do it. Is I'm not going to say it's quicker, but it's easier. You just plug in, go through the menus, bang bang, job done. NCS Expert is a little bit. Like I said, it's easy to use, but when you have a tool that is a little bit easier and quicker, or you tend to use those rather than. I haven't used NCS Expert for quite a long time, to be fair with you, because of that exact reason. I just tend to use the Maxi every time I know it can do the job I'm looking for. I use it. Yes, Mario, you can. I do have that. It can help you quite a lot. Yes. If you can use Xprog clone with Cas3, I think you can. I never used it for Cas3, but I'm pretty sure Xprog can read Cas3. I'm pretty sure you can. Multi-diax tools can't do everything. No, they can. There's no tool out there that does everything. So it doesn't matter if you have a Maxi Sys, if you have a Snap-on, if you have whatever tool, KTS, yeah, Bosch KTS, doesn't matter. Any tool is going to do something that the other doesn't, and the other is going to do something that that one doesn't. And It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. There's no tool that will do everything. If I have any background about electronics, uh, I mean studies. No, I've never studied electronics in my life. Um, my studies is self-taught, like I said earlier. That's you read and read and you search information and you read and then you try. Then you get a solder iron, you get a multimeter, and you start to mess about with things and you learn. That's how I've learned. um, for Pillman, they do they do BMW and Mercedes. I've seen through the menus the other day that Volkswagen Group, VAG Group, it seems to be that they are trying to do something with that because I've seen menus in there that I haven't seen before for programming. So it looks like it's going to be something. Is something in the pipeline. It looks the same for Ford. I'm not 100% sure. I saw something there the other day as well. So that's Mercedes and BMW, 100%. Yes. The other ones I don't want to lie. So I've seen something there. If they're gonna go ahead with it or not, I'm not. I'm not sure. Yes, R270 is a very good tool for Cast 3. Um, it's but the problem with any of those tools is when you start to get so many programmers that do the same thing, you're just repeating, repeating, repeating. Uh, yes, if you have the funds, if you have the money and you really need them, yes, there's nothing wrong with have different programmers. I have a few different ones that I know, for example, that one reads better that chip or that MCU than that one, so I'm going to use that one. And like I said, I want to have Shores. That's on my shopping list. I want that one as well. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with have a few of them. Key tag on seed 801. I think I've read that ECU with key tag. I'm not 100% sure. I think I've definitely read a seed ECU with key tag. Actually, more than one, but I'm not 100% sure if it was the 801. I can't remember now, guys. For me, breaking is learning. Definitely, it is. You need to break. You need to do mistakes to learn. Um, the mistakes I've done throughout these years is the ones that I most likely will not repeat because it's the ones that gets into your head quite quick. So, hi, cars exposed. What have you been? You just had a break. Well, at least you got here. Better late than never. How is work then? Going good? Yeah, I'm off today, working tomorrow night, man. Tomorrow will be me. The better way to know the real mileage for a car. Is that a question, Maher? If it is, the best way here in the UK is just follow the MOTs. It's just there's some apps you can have on your phone. The mileage is tracked on every single MOT. I probably presume everywhere around the world nowadays, and that's the best way to track the mileage. Obviously, I do know that you can get to the end of the year and take all the mileage you've done. There's no really a way because depends on the cars. Uh, some cars you change the mileage and that's it. That's the end of it. You'll never know that it's been changed. Some other cars, so like BMWs, for example, they save the mileage in so many ECUs that you only need to change a couple to actually change the mileage on the display. But you can go through a diagnostic tool and check the mileage on the other ECUs, for example. But there's no really a better way to know the real mileage. I think. I guess. Yeah, I bet it is, Igor. I bet it is. Yes, Diago. Like I said earlier, mate, I broke a MJD ECU as well, so it happens sometimes. It's part of the job. My full-time job. I work on a factory at the moment. That's what I do. I've actually replied down some of my videos. A little bit more complete answer to that question. Yeah, Diago. As I said, for the IMJD, man, I read it through OBD. Fine, no problem. Cycle the ignition after the reading. That was it. ECU was dead. Tried to read it on the bench with key tag. No connection to the ECU whatsoever. I'm using the ECU for parts now. The time flies like this, guys. 1 hour and 33 minutes. Uh, for airbag crash clear. I don't. I haven't done a lot of crash clear. I've done a few, but not a lot. Here in the UK is a little bit, you know, most of the times you don't really do a lot of body repairs, if that makes sense. So I've done a few. I've used CarProg once, uh, and a couple times I've actually used just read the EEPROM, and I've used, I forgot the name now. I'm going to tell you the name in a minute. I've used a place called Taco Soft login. Sorry, Taco Soft. They do have files for that as well. I've used them a couple times, although you need to pay for those. But how did you solve that? Oh no, sorry. If DPF off is legal in the UK, no, it's quite simple. I don't think it's legal anywhere. To be fair with you, taking them off, but yes, solid, 100%, 100%. Yes, 100%. Car prog is better. with enols. I've used winols a few times, um, but I'd put it. I think winols on its own is winols on its own is not science. What's the word? Winols on its own is you need to dedicate yourself to that, to learn how to identify the maps, to scroll through the maps and see where they are, where they start. I think that comes with experience. You need to do that kind of often. And I just don't have the time, guys. I just don't have the time. It reminds me a little bit when I work. For example, we were just talking earlier about NCS expert. If I need to work with NCS expert tomorrow, I will have to go very slowly. I will have to certain things probably. How do I do this? I'll have to stop and think. It was times in the past where I was working with the NCS experts so much that I would fly through, no problems. I think Windows will be a little bit like that. Once you get your head around it and you start to work with it with experience, it becomes easier. For me, not really. I don't. Like I said, if I need to do something with it, I will, but I will have to go very slow. I will have to. Is I don't have a lot of experience with it, basically. More live streams. Yeah, why not? Why not? Where can I get a T-shirt? Patreon. My hair. Go to Patreon. Go to my YouTube main page. On the banner, right at the top, right hand side, press the Patreon button and just follow the screen, and you'll get one. If I do mobile work as well, I will just talk about that earlier. Not really. I like. I've been a few times with the since I got the van. I've been a few times to different garages and helping friends here and there, but I don't do that like often. It's not something that not really, not really. I use the van if I have to, obviously. I just used it today. There's an interesting video that's going to come later on of a job today. Yeah, most of my work is electrical jobs. Yes, mainly because I don't have the conditions here to do anything more mechanical. But I do like brakes and suspensions, anything that I can do from the floor, on the floor. Yes, I do. If it's something more, like I don't do things like, for example, timing belts and stuff like that because that will start to be another investment. You need locking tools, you need other sort of tools that I'm not really interested to invest at the moment because I like to focus more on the electrical. And as anyone into this industry, and you can see from my videos, I'm lacking of so many tools. That's unbelievable. So that's where I tend to focus. My area is on electrics, yes. And to be fair with you, it's probably why I enjoy more. Is the electrics. Uh, Technoman, most of it is by word. I don't advertise nothing. I don't do advertising, nothing. Most of it would be a long story, but yes, everything started when I've helped a friend, and then from there it just started to escalate. And basically, it's been like the friend of a friend, and then people start to know that I do this stuff, and they start to ask me, and I have a list in there of about 15 people waiting for me to have room so they can bring their cars. But yes, just word of mouth. No advertising, no garage. I do jobs for a few garages, but it's not very often, obviously. But if I need to get my own shop, I know that. I know that. What do I do to remove the plastic on clock springs? Right, guys. When you do clock spring repairs, be careful. You don't want to leave nothing short. Theoretically, guys, the clock spring is no more than electrical circuit. Doesn't matter how you're going to put it across. If it's for the airbag, if it's for the horn, if it's for whatever, it's an electrical circuit. Simply as that. But I do know that the proper repair would be replace the clock spring. Okay. But how do I remove that plastic? Most of the times, if not every single time, what I do is with the soldering iron, I just melt. I start to melt, and at the same time, I go with a spatula behind, and I just scrape the plastic. And as soon as you take that first layer off, after that, you just scrape until it gets to the copper. Simply as that. It's not. That's how I do it. If I would like to do this full time, 100%, man, 100%. I would love to be able to do this full time. I have so much joy doing it. It fulfills me really doing it. And yes, like I just said, I have a list in there of about 15 people waiting. I get asked every day for jobs to do this, to do that. I only have very limited space on my driveway, so I can only have. And now that I have the motors here waiting to be sold, it's just taking space. But I have room for about two, three cars, and then I have my own cars, obviously. And the parking space here on the street is not too much. So, uh, but yeah, I think if I would advertise a little bit, I'll get much more work. So, but yeah, I would love to do this full time, definitely. We'll get the parts. Most of the times, I get the parts. Sometimes I don't want to get the parts. I tell you a little story of a video that's going to come. There's a Kia Sedona outside. Uh, Long story short, the guy was quoted for a new high pressure pump. Is 2.9 turbo diesel. The guy was not happy with the quotation, and he's been for ages asking me to have a look at the car. And then, anyway, I had the car. I've checked the car, and well, I'm going to spoil the video now. Basically, three of the injectors they were pretty much constantly flow back leaking. So I bought three second-hand injectors on eBay. I asked the guy if you want to buy the parts. He said, no, you buy the parts because you know what you are getting, which makes sense. I got the injectors, two injectors, absolutely. Well, I put the three injectors, went for a drive, and I could hear this tapping, this sort of injector knocking. I go back home, I tested the three injectors I got, and one was even worse than the previous ones. I'm not saying that on the video, but that's long story short is what happened. Now I had to send the injector back. The guy got the injector. Now he's saying he doesn't have injectors to replace, and now I'm waiting for a refund on that one injector, and I had to buy another injector. Is all the is complicated. I would prefer if I would tell the person, look, that's what I need, and he brings me the parts, because sometimes people doesn't see how much things costs and the time I lose looking for parts as well and all that stuff. It's a little bit of a mixture. Most of the times I get the parts, to be fair with you. A long answer for a short question. How I know the resistance to use for simulating a sensor? Not all the sensors you can use a resistor. That's the first thing. Second thing, stay tuned on my channel. It's going to be, I think, interesting video on a tool that I have made for airbag systems to simulate the airbag. Uh, Stay tuned, and you'll see how the tool works. How do you know the resistance? Uh, well, you can go through like Autodate and stuff. They'll tell you roughly what resistance you should be getting, but not all the sensors work on the resistance, I'm afraid. Some are more complicated than that, but hi Redman, how you doing? Yes, eager. That's absolutely spot on. Uh, that's that's what I love the most, man. Is get a car here that you don't have a clue what's wrong, you don't have a clue where to start, and you just start to work on the car, and things just develop, and you find the problem, you fix it, and yes, and is even more rewarding when you know that car has been there and there and there and there, and it ends up on you, and you manage to get it done. Um, Not criticizing the other places, but yeah, that's really is really rewarding. What's my next tool on my shopping list? Wow, that's a good question, man. My list is so big. Um, my I think it's gonna depend on the next job. I tell you why I do, how I do. I have a list of tools that I want to buy that I would like to have. Yeah, if I do have a car that comes in and that tool would definitely help me to do that job, that's the tool I'll buy. Yeah, that's how I do it. Um, like I don't know, I would like to have. I said it many times throughout this live stream. Shores for EPROM and MCUs. I want to have that tool. So far, I've been managing to get all the jobs done with the tools I have, with the programmers I have. But if there is a car that comes in and that tool and my tools cannot do it, and that tool could definitely do the job, that's the tool I'm going to buy. Definitely, that's how I do it. Not just for that, even for hand tools, same thing. There's a few hand tools I would like to have. If comes a car that I see, damn it, that tool, I will buy the tool. And once you have it, you have it. That's it. You can cross it from the list. If I have, if I have ever been unable to repair a car, yes. No one is perfect. Um, I had, but to be fair with you, and not being here, brag myself, but I had a couple of situations where simply the customer doesn't want to do it, and that is not really that. It's not that he doesn't want to do it. Is you spend like 1 day, 2 days try to find an issue, and you can't find the problem, and sometimes it happens that the person doesn't want to wait, and he wants the car back or whatever. And yes, you let them take the car. I don't know if they got it repaired elsewhere or whatever. I had those situations. I had the situation where the person simply doesn't want to repair it. And I had the situation, I think the one that I can recall really, I can recall easier because it was not that long, was a Vauxhall Astra with I think was the 1.7 CDTI engine. The engine was not the original engine from the car. Okay. Um, so basically, they replaced the engine and the engine never started. They brought me the car here, and yes, the car would crank fine, it wouldn't start. I could see the readings of the crank of the engine speed from the crank sensor on the tool. I could see that, but the car wouldn't start. As I start to walk to go around the car on the engine bay, I couldn't see nothing wrong. Everything was plugged in, was nothing unplugged. But because that engine did not belong to that car, I was not 100% sure if, for example, the signal from the crank sensor, although the tool was reading, but this is just an example, if the signal was actually correct for the ICU, or if the sensor from any other, if the signal from any other sensor was the one that the ECU was expecting to see, because I was not sure if that sensor was the correct for the ICU. I don't know if I'm coming across uh, clear enough. So I could try to replace the ECU with the ECU correct for the engine, because the ECU the engine codes were different. The engine itself was the same, everything was the same, but the engine code was different. So I could try to get the ECU for that engine, or I could try to start to change all the sensors. I was not keen to do it. The guy, when I started told the guy the story, he was a little bit like, his face, it was like if I didn't knew what I was talking about. And I never repaired that car. That car came on my van and he went on my van. I took it back. I never repaired that car. So yeah, that was one of the cars I didn't repair. That was about maybe a year ago. Don't you remember that smart ECU can fix? We're talking about the smart for 4 with the no can communications with the ECU, yeah? Oh, the can shorted. Yeah, 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 yeah. But I got that one repaired. What is the biggest cash? Yeah, I'll tell you what was the biggest money. The biggest money. I tell you what. That's pretty gross. I can tell you what was the biggest charge I've made for a repair. Was £800. So I don't know how much that will be in dollars or whatever other currency, but it was £800. That was the most expensive repair I've charged. But to be fair with you, more than half of that was for the part. If you go to my coffee page, you'll see, scroll it down, and you're going to see some pictures I put in there for, and that was before YouTube, so I never recorded it. But it was to repair, not to repair, yeah, to repair SMG pump on a M3. It's a quite common issue where the electric motor or burns or seized or fails, and it stops building the pressure for the SMG actuators. and you stop be able to engage gears and stuff like that. You can have all sorts of symptoms. But just the pump, just the motor itself was 500 quid, and the rest was labor. That was probably not probably that was the most expensive repair I've done here on that M3. Yes, yeah, about 950 euros. Yeah, it's about right. Yeah, Redman. Most of my tools are clones. If that answers, I would have I would have a third of the tools if I would go original. Um, I would go original. I just think most of the original tools they are way too expensive. And more people would buy originals if they were more affordable. Uh, the price of the original tools make them inaccessible to a lot of shops out there, um, and they are just too expensive. VP44, I repaired two in the last 7 years. That's my experience with those pumps. Um, Once again, they were both before YouTube. I keep saying this, but it's true, guys. I've only started YouTube about 3 years ago, maybe less than that. For real, about 2 years ago, actually. Uh, yes, I've repaired two. One was on Vauxhall Vectra, I think it was. And the other one was on Audi, I think it was. On an Audi 2.5 TDI or something like that. Yeah, I repaired two of those where that current regulator burns. The both I had was with the same problem. China is our savior. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Tech Technoman. Yes, I've seen. I've seen the GMTO is quite expensive as well. The beauty of those tools, yes, is that they have waveforms because it's easier to connect. It's easier. It's easy to connect a scope to a signal. The difficult bit is know if that's good or not. That comes with experience. Obviously, you start to know uh, if it's good or not. For ages, I've been trying to build my own database. For ages, I've been trying to start to connect my scope into cars that I have coming in. Just connect the scope, take a signal, take a picture of that signal. Actually, my scope, the Unity, you can save that into a flash. You can save the pictures straight into a USB drive. But I could just easily take a picture of that waveform, uh, class that, whatever that was, and start to save them. But it's a time thing. I just don't have the time. Um, this is for Diagotto. The Vectra, I did it on the car. Okay. It was a Peter. It was a pain in the ass to do that on the car, but I did it on the car. The Audi, I actually, the pump came off because the pump was brought to me. I didn't have that car here. So I did on the bench, but the Vectra was done on the car. You have to cut the wires and work on the bench. For the VP44, yes, there is the what's the is there's two sensors you need to cut the wires if you want to take just the just the top off. Yeah, if I recall right. Aside from factory, which tool would you say is second best to the Ag Mercedes? My Maxis is spot on every single time. As you've seen from some of my videos, and there's more coming, I do have the star. Uh, I don't always plug the star unless it's something that I know the star is going to be really helpful. I will connect the star. Otherwise, I use the Maxi Cs. The Maxi Cs is my first is the first approach I go for. It's the first tool I go for. The Maxi Cs is absolutely perfect. I don't have experience with many other tools, guys. I used to have the DS708. Never let me down really as well. It's quite a good tool. Uh, it might be that there is specific tools out there for Mercedes other than the C3 or the Star. I'm not really sure. I never really researched. Um, a Hey class, good Star clone is very hard to find. A Star clone is very hard to find. Yes. Any clone tool is a hit and miss. Any clone tool is a gamble you take. Uh, it's nothing you can do really. I shared with you guys on YouTube on several videos the place I buy my clone tools from, most of them. Um, I never had a really, I never had an issue. So I mean, it's one of those things. You use that seller until he lets you down, and then you move to another one. The one I'm using so far, so good. So, but yeah, you can't really tell from the box, can you? From the box, you can't see what's inside, so it's a little bit of a hit and miss. Yes, it is. Where do I buy Chinese stuff? Um, Radu, I've shared on some of my videos where I get my tools from. I get them from a website called cardiagtool.co.uk. Although it's .co.uk, they are sent from China. Uh, like I said, I bought many tools from there. So far, so good, but you never know. How can I replace the integrated PCF chip with a transponder? Um, you can get the same, right? You can get the same transponder, right? A PCF 74. I can't remember if I'm getting the right numbers now. You can get the same that you have on a chip on a transponder. Okay, you can have that. Um, so you just need to get the right one and program it. Really, it's not rocket science. Sort of. It's just a matter of you find the right transponder that is compatible, that is the same as the PCF you have on the PCB. Um, 2010 steering lock. Which car are we talking about? That's always the problem. Each car is going to be different. Um, I've done I've done a video on a Mercedes for a steering lock. Uh, Touareg. That's Volkswagen. Yep. I really don't know Redmond, unless I never had to do that, and I never researched. A lot of the times is when I need to do a job. That's when I research. Obviously, there's some stuff I can go and kind of figure out myself, but for the Volkswagen, I'm not really sure which one will be able to adapt the steering lock. I think if it's a brand new steering lock, you might be able to do that actually with VCDS. I would say if it's a brand new one, but I think you're going to need You might gonna need security access to it, and then Volkswagen doesn't give you the pin codes. Is I don't know, Redman. Unless you research to see what tool can actually do that without much of an hassle with the security things. I'm not really sure. Yes, Odis. That's what I'm saying. The CDS Odis obviously will be able to, especially if it's brand new. But I do believe you will most likely still need the security code for that. VCDS pin codes. I don't know if we are talking about the same thing. The immobilizer pin code, which is then used in Volkswagens, is the security code for for everything you want to do on the car. There's some other codes that you can use for different stuff, but the pin code you need, for example, to program a key, most likely is going to be the same pin code is going to need to access um, any other ECU. Um, those pins now, Volkswagen, Audi, they don't give you those pins. Each car will have their own pin, the security code. Volkswagen doesn't give you that anymore. And even Audis, even the operator at Volkswagen doesn't see the code. When you connect Audis is going to go straight to the VAG servers and retrieves the pin code and does it all without even the operator seeing the pin code. That's the way Audi and Volkswagen VAG Group is working like that now. So, oh, about adaptation code. Yes, adaptation codes. That's why I'm saying that most likely the CDS will be able to do. That's why I just said security code is one pin. Then you have other codes to do other stuff on the car to adapt the steering lock. Most likely you'll find those codes, obviously, and most likely the CDS will be able to do it. Probably will be able to do it. Swap the Motorola ECU. Yes, that's the easiest way. If your problem is mechanical, um, just swap the chip and you have the problem solved. Yes, that's absolutely spot on, Redmond. Yes, my hair, that's correct. Once again, you need to have the tools to retrieve those pin codes. I never worked. I said earlier on the video. I never worked. I don't have FPDI. Don't know how good it is. Yeah, a Brits as well. A Brits. Yes, is another tool I don't have. Um, I just answered that, Pillman. I have my next tool. Yes, I've just answered that. I have a shopping list, and my next tool is most likely to be the tool I'm going to need. As I just said very quick now, if I have a car or a job to do that I need a tool that I don't have, most likely that's going to be the tool I'm going to buy. Even if that tool is now on the top of my list. But if it's a tool I'm going to need, that's going to be the next one. Uh, Cars exposed. You're gonna need to do it with the NCS expert. That's your best option. You need basically to code the check for the lights. You need to code that off. Is that simple? NCS expert will do that. Well, it won't do that for you. You need to do it, but NCS expert definitely will do that for you. You can code the check of the lights off. Just remember, Igor, that you have two different checks. Depends on the model. If your car comes off with that warning, as soon as you turn the ignition on, you have what is called, what BMW calls a cold check, which is the car checks the lights even before you use them. Even if you don't use them, the car does a check for the lights. And then you have the check when you actually turn the lights on. The car checks the lights, and obviously, if there's a problem, he throws a warning. When you do the coding, you have those two different checks. Uh, if your car is coming up with a default when you turn the ignition on, you can try to code. You can try to disable the cold check, so the car will not check for the lights when you start the engine. Uh, but it's going to check the lights when you turn them on. If when you turn them on, they are working and you still have a fault, then you might need to code both checks off. And obviously, the car will never check if the lights are working or not. Hope that answers your question, Igor. My hair, you can have a short somewhere, man. You can have a check your door inches, not the inches. The conducts between the door and the chassis. Volkswagens, they tend to break in there. You might have a short in there, something like that, and that is causing that. It can be many other things. Like I always say on my videos and on my replies, start with a scan, check your live data, see why he's in there, and it might be that points you in the right direction. No worries, Bill, man. Thanks so much, man. Yes, Mario Rui Santos. Yes, it is. It is what makes those blinks. Basically, the way the car checks if the lights are working is by sending a small voltage through the circuit. So it sends a small voltage through one wire that goes all the way to the bulb, comes back to the ECU, and the ECU measures the voltage that gets back to it. If there's voltage, obviously it's going to be a drop in the voltage because of the resistance of the circuit, but it's going to read that voltage. If it gets voltage back, that means the bulb is okay, but the voltage is never enough to actually light up the bulb. When you put an LED, the LED needs very low voltage to actually light up. So that flashing you see on LED, that is the ECU pulsing that signal, checking the bulbs. Yes, absolutely spot on, man. Radu, DIY tools. There's two videos coming on to DIY tools. One is actually very shortly. I can. Nah, I could. I don't know if I can check now. Let me see if I can open that here. I think I can tell you when the next. Let me see how many videos I have up front before the first one. I will tell you in a second. Okay, so is that one in there? So I have One, two, three. Three videos up front before I'm gonna post a video. I'm gonna make public a video on a tool which is a smoke tester. Um, Something that I've been trying to get for ages, and I ended up by doing my own, which I've used it a few times afterwards. Never on a video though, but I've used it a few times afterwards. And I tell you what, it works brilliantly. It works absolutely brilliant. Yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be a video on the tool, and I've done a tool afterwards for airbags. I don't want to say too much. Yes, there's some videos coming on that. So there we go, Maher. You might have follow those wires, man. Check the, like I said, check the door, check the conduit where the wires goes. Check that in there because they are quite prone to break. Check that, check connections, measure wires. It's going to be something around there then. Thank you, Brent. It is a pleasure, man, to share information. Thank you, Redmond. Yes, is patience, but is the most of the times is the fact that I don't like to be defeated. If I have a problem and I cannot fix it, sorry, because if I cannot fix a problem, which very rarely happens, to be fair, but if I can't fix it, I have jobs here that sometimes they make my head. I go round and round, but I don't like to be defeated. That's my main thing. I like to get to the bottom of things. Even if I need to strip the entire car, I will. But I will find why it's causing the problem. Yeah, I don't like to be defeated. Not nowadays, no. Yes, Mark, you can do that. You can unsubscribe and subscribe again, yes. Guys, I can't believe I'm here for 2.5 hours already. Time flies. And it's getting really late. Um, Guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Uh, is past 1 in the morning now. Igor, it's been fantastic, man. This live video has been fantastic. I'm really enjoying doing it. And now that I've done the first one, I think I'm going to do more. I'm going to do more, definitely. More live streams. I will be doing more. But maybe not on repairing, unless it's something that I know is going to go really well. So I don't, so I look good. No, but I'll be making more live streams. Definitely, I will. Yes, Igor, is the first time I've did a live stream. In since I had the YouTube channel, I never made a live stream. Barabbas, no problem, man. Here to help, like I keep saying. No problem. You can always go back and start to watch from the beginning. Yes, Diagoto, I just said I will be doing more live streams. I just need to find the right circumstances to do live streams. I will be doing another live stream on the 75 patrons. 100% is going to be another live stream. I was to do on 100, but I decide that I'm going to break that in half. It's going to be a live stream on 75. I'm going to give another tool away. I don't know which one. I'll be giving something away, and then the 100. And yes, I might make some live streams on on cars, on little things, you know. Yeah, why not? Wow, Mario, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. Obrigado. Muito obrigado, meu. Muito obrigado. Yes, my hair man. It's been crazy. Tried to reply everybody. I've been focused more on Patreon lately. That was the reason why I've created Patreon. Really, was the primary reason was that I've been focused to help people on Patreon, and not so much on YouTube. I do still try to reply everybody, but it's been very difficult lately. Yes. Thank you so much, Radu. Thank you so much. I'm not an actor, but I did my best, I think. Redman, have you watched my video for the a steering lock issue on a Volkswagen Passat? Um, go go on my page and search and search for just search Passat steering lock. Um, I had an issue with a car, exactly the same problem. Sometimes the car wouldn't start, no ignition, and basically was the micro switch inside. When the steering lock, I don't know if it's going to be the same on your case, but when the steering lock locks and unlocks, the mechanical side of things, they need to tell the electronics the position where they are, and it does it by pressing some micro switch. In my case, the problems was the micro switch. I ended up by dismantle the micro switch and clean them. It was just that. Every now and then, quite often actually, the steering lock would go to one position, but the micro switch inside would not make the electrical connection to tell the electronics that the lever was on that position. And basically what was the only problem. I'm not saying that's going to be your case, but watch that video if you haven't, and that might give you some ideas. I don't know. It is not Spanish. My hair is Portuguese. Natural from Portugal. That's where I'm from. It's not Spanish. Sorry, man. I actually don't speak too much of Spanish. Oh, you watched the video on the Passat. Good, good. That didn't give you any ideas. Is that the same type of flock we are talking about here, or is something different? Morocco, yes, Portugal. Yes, no worries, man. I hope you lose. I will be finishing live stream shortly, man. I really have to. Thank you, Barabas. Thank you so much, man. Have a nice night. Um, if the problem started when you jump the car, then might be something different. Nevertheless, the jumping could be a coincidence. You never know with those things. Good night, man. Guys, everybody, I'm really gonna need to finish this live stream. We are here for 2 hours and 40 minutes. No worries, my hair. The watchings, the views, the comments is more than good. Thank you, Brenton. Guys, I'm really gonna have to finish this, man. We're gonna be here forever. Thank you, Igor. Have a nice night, man. Are you working all night then? I suppose. Have a nice work, man. Guys, let's gonna wrap this up. thank you so much for being here. Uh, Thank you so much for stay here for all this long. Um, I really hope you guys continue to follow my channel. Consider to go to Patreon, uh, and and we'll see you, if not before, on a live stream, at least when we reach 75 patrons. That's the next. I'm gonna actually change that to 75. At the moment he says 100. I'm gonna change that to 75. So yes, guys, I need. Uh, Thank you, Mario. I really need to go, guys. It's been fantastic. All these experience has been absolutely spot on. Has been really good, guys. Hope you enjoyed this live stream. Like I always say, if you have any questions or any comments, put them below. And like always, thank you so much for watching.